So Monica, we've been working with you for years. We've enjoyed this partnership each year doing this donation drive. I had multiple employees this year when I sent out my notice, and they said, wait a minute, this is only boys' clothes. Isn't there other stuff? And I said, no, this year she said they need boys' stuff. So maybe if you can explain how the needs vary and who you serve, how you distribute it, a little bit about Landmark, and tell us about this construction project going out back.
We could take about 400 students at any given time. And mind you, like our class sizes are anywhere from like 12 students to 20 kids. So when they come to us, they might be credit deficient, they may have attendance issues, or there's other things that are going on. So like this is like, we gotta get it together so we can get them graduated. So it's not just kind of let them just go and do what they need to do. Like we are on them, and we have staff that are helping us make that graduation happen. So they are building on, and I don't know the exact number, but I think it's going to double. So we're going to be at like anywhere from 600 to 800, depending, I think is what they projected. So we've been under construction since the end of school last year, and it's behind where our pantry is. So whenever we have to go out there, we have to shut the whole construction crew down, go out with white flags and ask them if we can go out there and get what we need. But we still have stuff in the pantry. It's just a little bit harder. So we've been keeping it in the school, like when people need things, so it's a little bit easier to access. We're using the trophy case as shelving, you know, whatever we have to do. But this year our numbers we're sitting about 280 because we had to close down 12 classrooms while they were doing construction on the back side. So this year we couldn't take as many students because of the construction and the classroom. We didn't have classrooms. We have teachers, like 2 teachers in a room, things like that. They're rotating until we get the construction done. But when it's done, we will also have a teen center. And I don't know if you guys have heard about the teen center. Basically, any student within Nebo School District, it'll be a drop-in center. They can come and shower, wash their clothes, have a place to study, get food. They're doing a lot of this up north, and in the other school districts, they've been pretty successful. And so we want to try it and see how many students might need to partake of, you know, those services. I know 2 years ago I had a student and her family, they didn't have running water. So I actually bought rec passes to Springville so they could go there and shower every day. Because I couldn't send them to the truck stop. That wasn't safe for the little kids to shower in the men or women truck stops. And we didn't have our facility here in Spanish. We still don't, you know. But you think a shower, that's not hard. It is. It is hard to come up with a shower for our families. So it'll be exciting to be able to have the facilities to do that. I mean, we already wash the kids' clothes and stuff like that. We teach them how to do it, but it'll be nice to have a more formal kind of situation for the kids. It won't be an overnight center. We won't have the kids spend the night or anything like that because we don't have staff to cover that, but we do have partnerships with Wasatch Mental Health, and they have a facility if we ever need to have a place for kids to sleep. They're willing to help us take care of that. And then we work with the transient bishop and community action if we need like temporary housing for a night or two for kids. So we're excited because we're expanding, and it'll be good to have that. We're kind of the hub because we have the pantry here, and the pantry services all the kids in Nebo School District. Like the kids in Goshen, Springville, like we cover all of the family needs. We have 5. We've got 6 social workers now. So there's one that's assigned to each area. So Springville, Mapleton, Payson, Spanish. We actually have 3 in Spanish Fork that cover. And so that way the schools just notify the social workers, and then they can come and get what they need for the families. So it takes care of like all family needs. We have underwear, socks, clothes, coats, pretty much anything you can think of we've got in there that's been donated. I will say right now we're down on donations just because it's too hard to get out to it, so I really haven't pushed too much just because I don't have the space today, but I will have the space in the summer, so we'll hit it hard again as soon as we get ready to start school so that we can fill the cupboards and make sure everything is full. But we are just thankful to the community for always, you know, stepping up when we need things and taking care of the needs. But you talk about how do we know what we need, right? I think when I started this, I just wanted kids to have socks and underwear. I mean, because that was a luxury. Who doesn't love new socks and new underwear, right? So that's where we started. And when I started here, gosh, how many years ago? 21 years ago. Ooh. I used to have my socks at one elementary and underwear at another elementary because they'd give me just a little corner on their stage or in their lunchroom or wherever. And so when a family had a need, I'd have to go drive by, pick up socks, pick up underwear, wherever I had space. And then Joe Kelly, they built Landmark here, and he wrote a grant so that I could have some space in the back. And they said, please come and live with us at Landmark. And I'm like, I don't know, I really like the district office. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I want to move. But it was the best move for me because I got space and I was able to be with the kids and be more on the ground to see what the needs were. So from there, the pantry's just grown from socks and underwear to food, toothbrushes, toothpaste, anything that they might need, we're able to stock it. So this year, we really needed little boys' coats, well, coats of all sizes, and underwear for all sizes for the boys. And I don't know why we ran through all of what we had, but we've got plenty of girls' stuff. Well, I mean, you can always use it, but the more need was the boys. We kept getting calls for little boys' coats and underwear, and we had nothing. And then I got calls for like XX, 3X, like the bigger kids, and I had maybe a medium, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work. So we try and run and get what they needed, but yeah, the boys this year have had a lot more needs, and so we've been trying to meet the need there, and we just keep things rotated, with what we have. So that's kind of where the need came from this year. I think mid-year, we talked about a project where like the lost and found. I think you had the idea of like, could we do the lost and found at the schools, wash them and trade? Yes, and we talked about it, and when I checked into it, they're actually already doing it. So they already have the schools trading, because the last thing we wanted to do is have Johnny see his best friend Jeff wear his coat, and you know how that goes. Why you got my coat on? My mom's gonna be mad, and it's got the name in the inside, and so then we have a fight on the playground. But we actually have, the schools are already washing and trading, yes. And then at the end of the year, like whatever is not usable, we'll take to DI, but a lot of the stuff they'll hold on to because we always have the need. So they are already doing that, which is a great idea, right? Because a lot of stuff is new. How many times do our kids lose things, right, that we just bought?
Just keep lost and found?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, so the kids have the lost and found at each school, yeah. And then they'll just trade like different elementaries, so we don't see the same coat on the playground. But there's some stuff that we can't use, and so that's the stuff we'll donate, you know what I mean? But it's been good. But even with that, exchange, there's still needs. I ran our McKinney-Vento numbers, which is the federal label for our families that are homeless, and our numbers are up. We're sitting at about 1,300, which is 100 or so more, and I think we're kind of underreported, to be honest, just the way that we collect our data, because it's been a tight, like financially tight for a lot of our families. In past years, you wouldn't necessarily think like our high school kids would come in and say, hey, my family needs food. Like they don't do that. Historically, they haven't asked. But this year, I have quite a few of the older kids coming in really worried about their families. Can you help me get a food box? We just don't have any food. And so of course, we're gonna help where we can, but this year was a little bit different where a lot of times the parents will call and say, hey, what are my resources? But it's actually, like the juniors and senior, the students actually like looking out for their families. Like, we don't have any food in the house, can you help? And so, that's a big step. What 16-year-old wants people to know that their folks are struggling and they don't have food in the cupboards? So when they do that, it takes a lot of courage. So we want to make sure it's smooth and no lights, nothing, so that it's just low key so they can do what they need to do. And they're thrilled. They'll call their mom and say, hey, I can't ride the bus home today. Could you come and pick me up? And mom will come down and get them home, and we out the back door so nobody sees anything. Yeah. And they're pleased and they're grateful, so grateful for that. So we partnered with Tabitha's Way this year for Thanksgiving, and I want to say we gave out 120 Thanksgiving dinners. I think each school got like 20 vouchers. It might have been area, but I know we had about 120 families that got Thanksgiving dinner. They went over. and got it right before Thanksgiving. It was the turkey and all the fixings, and they took it home and fixed it. And then we also partnered with Project Share in Payson, and I think she donated like 25 for our families. And then I know Christmas, they want us to come and try and help them with Christmas dinner, so we'll help them do that as well. And I think they ordered 500, but I don't know that it's all us. I hope not all of us, because that stresses me to think if we don't get all the turkeys out, where are they going to go? But we have an amazing partnership in our community, and everybody steps up. So we thank you guys too for always coming through at Christmas. Because our families, a lot of them will go to the food bank, right? Well, what do you do with a can of corn, can of beans? I mean, how do you make a meal out of that? So we asked, could you put meal packs together with the recipe so that the families can know how to use what they're getting, canned goods, right? So we got, I think we had like 5, maybe 6 recipes. There was chicken and rice casserole, 7-bean soup, there was taco soup, chicken noodle soup, spaghetti, and it was things that you would make out of the canned good items that you would get from the food bank. And the families love that because now they know what to do with all these beans and corn, you know, and how to make a meal out of it. And they save the recipes. And they're like, can we come and get some more of that because we know how to make it, right? And so now they can go to the food bank and go, okay, I know I need these kind of beans, I'm getting it, or, you know, and make the recipe. So that has been awesome. And we've challenged other families and other groups that have wanted to donate to do the same thing because the families love it so much. So thank you. Awesome idea. Thank you guys again for everything. You guys always make this time of year fun.